You know, I'm a 45-year-old space nerd.
I'm a spaceman.
Each and every one of us is a crew member here on Spaceship Earth.
The Galactic Guys, John Ennis and Mighty Mike Taylor.
There is a space-age quality to them.
This is the Galactic Coast Power Hour on Vinyl Draft Radio.
That is right. This is the Galactic Coast Power Hour, and we're coming to you live from the ACU of Texas studio on the top floor of the historic Gemini building, just down the street from Mission Control and the home of human spaceflight. My name is John Ennis, and tonight I'm joined by my brother in brew, Mighty Mike Taylor.
Yo, yo.
And our sister in brew, Sylvia, Ford Trade mobile app, Benvenidas.
Hello. Hey, what's up?
What's up?
And tonight we are excited to have back in studio the BEER NINJA Chris Spradley. Hey, Chris. Man, thanks for coming back.
How you doing, Chris? Nice to have you back.
Happy Welcome.
To be back. Happy to be back. You know, Greg Cook did that. That's from Greg Cook.
That was Greg Cook?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Greg Cook, when he heard that I was the BEER Ninja, he immediately made that sound.
You know, I think I saw a picture of you and Greg Cook. I was doing a little research, doing a deep dive on your Facebook page.
Can I hear that sound again, please?
Hi-ya! That's pretty sharp.
Nice. That's pretty
Yep.
So for those out there who aren't familiar with the BEER NINJA, Chris is a Keg ID account manager with SLG Keg Pros, where he travels the country drinking beer. I mean, helping breweries with their keg logistics.
No, you had it right the first time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He
don't tell my boss that.
But beer enthusiasts in Houston most likely probably know him as a former co-host of the What's on Tap radio show or the host-creator of Destination Beer TV show. He was a craft beer writer in California back before us in Texas even probably knew what craft beer was. He's an author, an Air Force veteran, the former president of Craft Beer.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Former president of Craft Beer Consultants and the beer evangelist most responsible for expanding the reach of Rahr & Sons into Houston, Galveston, and the Beaumont markets.
Yeah.
So that was a while ago. When was that with Rahr? I think
2012.
2012, okay. So you've been in the beer game for a while, right?
Going on 11 years.
11 years.
Nice.
Awesome.
OG.
Going on 11 years getting paid for it.
Right. Yeah, we were all in it before that. Yeah,
there was a previous, 15 years where I didn't make a dang thing.
Right.
Excellent.
So what did you do for Rahr?
I was their first sales rep in Houston.
Nice, really?
Yeah, they didn't have a sales rep down here. They were wanting to, expand, mostly taps. They wanted to do draft more down here.
We had heard about Rahr & Son long before we were able to get it down here in this area, and when we got it, it was... Man, that's top-notch stuff, man.
They make really good beer.
Really
it's so disappointing for me that I don't see their beer more in Houston.
Truth.
They've actually gone through probably 2 or 3 reps since me, and
they just can't get it out to the masses. Can't spider it out.
Wait, how long ago was that, though? What year were we talking about?
That I was with them?
Yeah.
2012.
I mean, back in the day, they were probably one of like 8 breweries in Texas or something.
Yeah, there were not many.
They were early on.
Not. I will say. They're not being handled as well as I would like, and I'm sure as Fritz Rahr would like to see by their distributor. I think they could do a lot better.
It seems like sometimes Dallas is like a light year away.
Well, remember, they're Fort Worth, not Dallas.
Fort Worth. The Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is...
So you mean West Canada instead of East Canada? Is that what we're talking?
Well, I only make that point because when I was working for them and I would walk into accounts, the people would be like, "Oh, you're from Dallas? No, Fort Worth."
Right.
Oh, okay,
that's
we
smart.
can talk.
See, this is a smart salesman. He knows exactly. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Most people, I mean, we're from Houston. We don't like Dallas. Dallas sucks.
But
Fort Worth is okay.
Undecided on Fort Worth.
I like Fort Worth.
Yeah.
They got good beer in
Where's Fort Worth?
And the people
same
are
city,
way cooler.
Just 20 minutes.
And they don't have a crappy football team that I don't like there.
Oh, that's what it always comes down to is sports, doesn't it?
But where are they? They're still in Arlington, though, right?
The girls team?
The girls team, the Cowgirls.
Yeah, that's where the Cowboy
Arlington,
Stadium is
right?
at.
Yeah.
Jones World.
It's
Jones
yeah.
World.
Yeah, and no one knows her. I'm from Arlington.
Walt Disney of football.
We hate you worse.
Nobody cares about Arlington.
Right.
Arlington's it's a nice city.
It is.
I mean, the Rangers still play there.
It's a
for
city of
now.
stadiums.
Arlen.
Yeah.
I thought the Rangers played in Arlen.
No,
right?
they played. They're right there, next to the
ballpark
right
in
next
Arlington.
to the
Oh, really?
AT&T
They have a
campus.
new ballpark?
No,
Well, it's funny. It's kind of new, but they're about to build another one.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, they're about to. I mean,
this it was built in 1994, and they're already building a new one.
crazy.
So it is kind of crazy. I like Arlington.
So the Rangers are building a new stadium because I've been to the one in Arlen. It's a beautiful stadium.
I think so too.
With the restaurants on the outside and then all the box offices. I thought that Texas or the Houston Astros could learn from them But
I don't know why they're building a new one.
yeah, for real.
That one was ahead of its time. The current Ranger Stadium. I mean, that was really nice. I remember. Making
all the
trips there.
athletes entered from a tunnel down below, and you could just go to a restaurant. You didn't have to buy a ticket to the game and hang out at the restaurant, eat food, and watch
cool.
It's a badass little park, man.
Well, while we're talking about stadiums, you recently visited a historic baseball stadium, right? Little bucket list scenario.
I was in Fenway on Sunday.
Nice.
God, that was so amazing. I mean, if you're a baseball fan, you've got to put that on your bucket list. It was
Fenway, Wrigley,
Well, Wrigley too.
And,
I've
and
been
you
to
got
Wrigley.
to see the Stros while you were there, right?
So I got to watch the Stros play on Sunday night. I actually got on the field during a tour. So a friend of mine who lives in Boston is a big Boston Red Sox fan. She's like, look, there's two kinds of tours. There's the regular tour that takes you around and shows you all the stuff.
There's two kinds of tours.
Really,
There's two kinds of tours.
That's a little bit more
Right?
New Yorker, but yes, but close. But it's close. But she said there's a 5 o'clock tour. You have to buy the tickets at the box office the day of, but it goes straight down to the field. I'm like, okay, I'm buying that.
On the grass?
Yeah.
On the well, no,
They
behind
lead you
batting
on the
practice.
dirt
behind batting practice.
Right.
But so what was really cool was we were down there, and they were just starting batting practice, fielding practice. But I don't know if y'all know that there was a bet. So Bregman had a bet with Joey Cora, and Joey Cora lost. And so the deal was he had to wear an LSU jersey on Sunday Night Baseball.
Snap.
And so I was down on the field when Joey Cora walked over in his LSU jersey, and Bregman came up for them to make the deal
Take their
and
picture.
take
Really?
pictures
That's
and,
cool,
and
man.
laugh it off. And I got the whole thing on my phone.
Oh,
Guys,
awesome.
I videotaped the whole thing.
Oh, my God.
It's awesome. It's
That
so
is pretty
cool.
cool.
Perfect
So
place,
that was
perfect
fun.
time.
And I was on the field at Fenway. I mean, that was awesome.
That's
Now,
pretty cool.
What was Cora going to wear if? What was Bregman going to wear if Cora won?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't. Did you trying to?
I don't remember the rest of the bet.
I think Cora might have been drafted out of high school or
Yeah, I
out
don't
of
know.
some kind of.
Yeah, I don't know the rest
All
of
right,
the bet.
we're
but it
going
was- it
deep
was
into
fun.
baseball. All right, all right.
Hey, I can talk about
Sylvia's
baseball.
eyes are bleeding, so we're going to get back to beer.
I can talk about baseball probably longer than I can talk about beer, but I'll drink beer while doing it.
Boom.
But you were in the New England realm,
Yeah.
so I
So
want to
did
hear
you-
about your adventures there because that's where it started. That's kind of where it all
Definitely
began.
one of the
We're talking about
trailblazers.
Yeah.
baseball. We're talking about food.
We're talking about
baseball.
beer.
I think she's talking about Nipa.
We were talking about Northeast.
She's trying
Sam
to
Adams.
goad me already.
Well, you did beat some great beer. I mean, you got a New England from Boston.
Yeah. Well, so I didn't have a whole lot of time. I got there Saturday, and a friend of mine is a brewer for Boston Beer. She's been around beer for a very long time. A very talented brewer named Megan Parisi. And so Sunday was all Fenway Park, and then Monday she and I hung out. And she gave me a tour of Sam Adams. And this brewery's, I don't know, probably 30 years old.
Oh, it's so pretty there.
It's gorgeous.
So
And,
just to clarify what you're talking about, we have a Samuel Adams New England IPA that was bought by John in the can.
Yeah,
from the
locally.
source. From the
In- in
source.
the
And we're going
can.
to do a comparison
In the can.
with From the Source.
And Chris got one directly from the brewery.
yeah, this is a crowler
this is
straight from the tasting room of
Crowler
the brewery.
straight from the tasting room of the brewery, and we're going to A/B
in
them.
Boston.
Yeah.
We're going to A/B them from Boston, and this is just what they produce in their canning line.
Yeah.
So this one says August 2018, and this one. So I mean, it's not a fair
That's-
comparison, but I mean, you should at least
Really?
be able
This
to
says
hold
August?
a month, right? This is August.
We've been holding on
This
to
is
it for a little
September.
while, yeah.
If your beer doesn't last a month in a can, just
Yeah.
stop brewing
Well-
beer.
Don't even
and
put it
go
in a
into
can.
the real estate market.
Don't put it in a can.
Hang on. You can say that, but I don't know how we want to progress with this topic, but one of the issues that a lot of brewers have with New England IPAs is packaging stability. And so because
because they're not boiling it long enough to keep it sanitary.
well, no, it's not that. It's
A
not
lot
that.
of them are boiling it 15,
It's-
30 minutes.
It's the way that the hops are used, and you get a lot of oxidation.
Truth. Yeah,
from,
yeah.
off
I can believe
flavors
that.
from that, and so it's just the way the beer is made. In fact, GABF is next week, and there are a lot of beers. There's 706 North hazy IPAs that were sent a month ahead of time for judging at GABF.
That better last.
It should be interesting.
A
This
bunch
is their
of people-
first year being judged
Yeah.
at GABF too, right?
And
Yes.
they're worried. A lot of people are worried about how those beers held up for that long.
Well, if they're worried about it, then there's something wrong. Because
Well,
I'll tell you,
exactly.
there
That's when the
are some
style
New
falls.
Englands that will stay, even some here in Houston. I mean, Spindletop, I'll take them for example because they're leading the way. And I have a can of Heavy Hands that's 4 months old. I crack it open. It's just as good as the first day that I
Should be. It should
It's
be.
fantastic.
If it's a properly brewed and bottled beer, it should
So
last.
whatever their water chemistry is, whatever they're doing from the canning side is working. So And they're actually, they
side.
submitted 4 entries as well, so we're rooting for them because, you know, we're Houston made, and we want Houston, put Houston on the map. So
Houston's on the map. St. Arnold's definitely been leading that category.
True that.
Absolutely.
And Eureka Heights, who we just had a beer from, Buckle Bunny won a gold last year.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
right. Wow.
Which is awesome. H-Town's doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're not doing-
St. Arnold, they're every one of their bottle taps says mid-sized brewery of the year.
That's what they won last year.
I mean, good Lord. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome.
I was there, and watching that happen, I was like, whoa, this is cool.
That was pretty awesome. Yeah, I saw 2 different Facebook from both sides of the room, and it was just like, I mean, you almost want to cry, man. I mean, these guys have been doing it. Brock's been on the forefront. He's rolled with the changes. He's tried to keep things going. He's got more beers. I mean, I think the only legitimate brewery that's behind or ahead of him in the number of beers that he's nailed is Boston Beer Company.
I don't know. I mean, if you're talking about nationwide, that's a big.
As far as getting commercially in your freezer at your convenience store.
in your city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd still say that's a bigger group.
So who's got more beers?
Okay,
Ballast Point's got a pretty
Ballast
good
Point,
select.
Ballast
Dogfish Head,
Point
Sierra
does.
Nevada, Firestone Walker, Deschutes.
Ballast Point's AB brand now, though, right?
No,
they're-
Constellation.
Yeah, Constellation.
Constellation,
But they
which
are
is,
still. They would still be considered not craft anymore.
not craft. Yeah,
But still, okay. Dogfish Head, Deschutes, Sierra Nevada, Firestone Walker,
I
Stone.
love Deschutes.
Well, Stone actually doesn't win that many awards because they do not.
They
brew
don't
to
care.
Style. They don't,
They
brew
don't
to
care.
Style.
So you think real ale falls in that category? You think real ale is like Texas of, the Samuel Adams is the New England staple. Is real ale the staple for Texas?
I remember a couple of years ago.
I wouldn't say they're the staple. They're certainly one of the legitimate breweries. I mean, they're the second biggest in terms of they're right behind St. Arnold in size and how much they brew, and they've been around for a very long time making very good beers.
Yeah. Now, I remember a couple of years ago, both them and St. Arnold's were just inside the top 50.
Yeah.
Craft
Right,
breweries.
yeah.
I think Real Ale. Actually, a couple of years Real Ale was a little bit ahead of St. Arnold's.
Yeah,
and
they're
kind of went
both
back
in
and
right
forth.
around the 75,000 barrel
I think
mark.
St. Arnold's is a little higher now. I think Real Ale is kind of fallen out of the top 50. I mean, if you're going strictly by
What
quantity.
was St. Arnold's production last year?
I'd have to go. I don't have
Yeah.
my catalog with me. You can probably find it online.
Ask
It's probably around
Siri.
75. Probably around 75,000.
So back to Boston Brewing Company. The brewery that you visited, it's not huge, right? I mean, it's not where like all the beer that is nationwide, right? It's brewed,
So
right?
this is the original Boston beer
Right.
location. They have a facility in Cincinnati, and they have another facility. I don't remember where the other one is, but they have another.
It's not
facility.
in Asheville, is it?
No, it's in the
It's Sierra
Northeast
Nevada
somewhere. Like maybe
and,
it's somewhere else in Ohio. I
somewhere
can't
weird.
remember off the top of my head. But they have several different facilities. So the facility that I visited brews for New England.
Okay.
And then the facility they have in Cincinnati is a larger facility that they can brew higher
Crazy
volume,
amounts, yeah.
more packaging, for the rest of the U.S.
So that's interesting that you say that, but because I always understood that Boston Beer Company actually did contract brew throughout the nation so that they could get beer.
I think they did at one point. Yeah.
So they used to contract brew at a couple different locations, not at AB as some people have suggested.
No, not at AB. Not at AB. I know
But
he
they-
wouldn't.
Yeah, but they have. I mean, look. I think one thing we need to, just in case there
crack
are
one open.
listeners that are unclear, we should never bash contract brewing because it
Truth.
has allowed
Truth.
No,
it's allowed
never.
so many brewers
Never.
the opportunity to grow and expand. And so Boston Beer was in a position where they were growing quickly and people loved the beer, and so they needed to go somewhere and say, hey, we need help brewing this beer
Absolutely.
because we don't have the equipment for it. And so that's what was happening is that they were having they had a
think
facility
also
and then
also to clarify, when people contract brew, it's because you have a no shit legitimate brewer who's got more equipment and space than they can sell.
That's
And
usually
to,
true.
And to them, it's a added bonus so that they can actually use their equipment to their full. And it's legit, man. I mean, these are people with pedigrees. These aren't home brewers who are, like we did, making their own equipment to try to brew bigger. No, these are farm grown brewers who you tell them what you want, and no shit, it comes out in a package in 6 weeks or so.
and nowadays you've actually